Hi everybody, this is Nathan and I'm here today with a showcase of my work in progress house. I wanted to show my warband because we are going to build a house throughout the expansion for everybody to live in. So it's one house for everybody. We currently have 2 rooms down with some minor edits to do. But as soon as we get the new expansion and the budget raises, we're going to build the rest of them. Okay, so here we are. This is the entrance, and the idea that I wanted here was to have this hall, like this little hall with banners of the people who live here. So we have the dwarf, who's a shaman. We have a human paladin, part of the Silver Hand, and we also have this mage, who is a high elf. Here is the wall to the druid that I will put later, his banner there. So let's walk in. So this is simple. I wanted to put more details here, but you know, we're on a budget constraint. We have a lot to build and not a lot, to spend in terms of, limits. And this is the common area where we have dining, a very big dining table for everybody. A nice, living room. I wanted to dye this here so it's more of a neutral color. It's not so, human high alliance color. This is a reading nook. I really like this from Pandaria. I got this like recently because I didn't have the lore master reputation, but I farmed for it and I really liked it. I wanted to put, a nook here for studies, and maybe, somebody's trying to learn how to speak and write in Pandaren. So some trinkets there. And here, as you go to the kitchen, we have a working stove with some fires going on. I gave this a lot of thought. Maybe, not use the fire, but I decided to leave it like this. So this is made with the regular human stove turned upside down, and then I put that Varian this metal top here is that Varian monument that if you flip it upside down, you have like this metal cover on it. And then I decided to turn this into a stove, and then that center island, and this is one of the things that I'm proud of, which is my pantry. If you open it, the doors slide, and in case you're wondering, this is just the secretive shelf turned with the back, so it looks like a wooden door. So here's where we keep all of our stuff to eat. If we move here, we have some nice shelf here. This is from the Arathi. I'm not really sure where this is from, how to get it, but it was already there. With some trinkets from our adventures and travels. So we have a high mountain Tauren, I suppose, here, and also something from the Dragon Isles, and then also a night elf memorabilia there. And this is a staircase to the rooms. And just so you know, I recorded a video showing how I did this, but I used the Blood Elf theme for inspiration. And the idea, I got this idea from visiting the manor from Waycrest Manor, the dungeon from BFA. The central staircase has this nice big window at the top of the staircase that divides in two. So I got this idea from there. And then I put 2 door frames on top of each other. You can watch the video to see how I did it. I just saw that this is lined for some reason. Okay, now it is. And here's the access to the rooms. So this side we have the mage room, which I really want to show you guys. I'm very excited, and that is where the paladin's gonna live. Downstairs, the shaman dwarf lives there. I'm gonna show him, but we already have a video showing how I built his room. So this is my mini Karazhan inside of my house. Around here, you're going to see that I filled this with, shelves and books, because mages, apparently they read a lot. I wanted to put everything up to the top, but then again, we don't have enough budget. Let's walk up. Here you can see that I put some plants there. I made it to look a little more cozy. And then we walk up. That's the entrance. So it says the staircase goes around a central, like a big pillar that I created. And if you come here, you get to the room. So the idea here is that it's like the last, like between the ceiling and the roof. So I wanted to give this sense with this tilted roof that it's like the actual roof. And so I made an observation deck right there. Then we have a bedroom, which is basically, you know, putting together 3 benches and decorating it. And then I made everything silver and blue to make it like, you know, high elf, not blood elf. Here's a little study nook under the observation deck. If you walk up here, you have, you know, you can watch the fake stars coming down. I also had to, you know, close a little bit of the room because the room was too big and I didn't have enough budget to spend on more stuff to create like other parts of the room. So I cut it in like 20% of it. So it gives this idea that the room is complete, it's not completely empty. Now, let me show you briefly the dwarf room. So the idea for the dwarf room, for the shaman, is that I wanted it to be like under like an imaginary mountain, because if you look at this, the outside that's the outside of the house supposedly. So if you come here, this would be like under a rock, like, or in a cave or something like that. So I thought it was very appropriate for, you know, a dwarf that maybe came from Ironforge or something like that. I had a hard time building this because I didn't have a lot of dwarf stuff. So when I had the idea, so I actually had to go back on Wowhead and look for furniture that looked like, you know, dwarven. I had to run some dungeons. I had to farm some reputation, but I managed to get some stuff. And as he's a shaman, I wanted to put some class hall stuff here, some study nook, and some of the things that I wanted to add here is like a staircase here, like a ladder, so he could reach to the top shelves. Then we have a dwarven bed, rock bed, and I didn't want it to be Dornogle because he's not an earthen, but you know, there's a lot of Dornogle stuff, so I had to mix. But that's the final result. I want to do more, but I'm gonna have to wait until midnight releases so we have more budget to spend. And that's it for now. There's a lot to do. That is an unfinished bathroom that I'm not gonna show. I want to put some shelves here, some bookcases, and make like a reading nook under the staircase as well. And then upstairs we're gonna have the paladin room, and down here we're gonna have the druid room, which I wanted to be like this outside room that we're gonna get in midnight. So I can't wait for that. So thank you very much, guys. See you in the next video.